All right, guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. All right, guys, I was thinking about this, right? So we're gonna be closing in on the next Dokkan Fest soonish. Okay, now soonish for me, next week should be a content plus EZA week. But, it's kind of like the end of what is a major celebration. I know a lot of people are disappointed in the celebration itself. I would say that the characters overall and the team construction doesn't feel that good. They could tie it together with massive EZAs at the end here. Again, I'm hoping maybe something like Carnival, Super Saiyan Goku cooler, right? Whatever. That'll be the end of the celebration. And then the week after, we should get the next Dokkan Fest, right? Now, so we're kind of like leaving what I would refer to as kind of like the hot season, which, like years past, when we would hit the end of June, right, we would walk right into the global anniversary countdown and JP having Tanabata, right? Massive. I mean, global anniversary, of course, dude. And then, Tanabata was pretty big too. And then we would have kind of like one kind of like, at cooldown monthly filler Dokkan Fest, whatever you want to say, for each version, right? Like, JP, Super Vegeta, Tech Ultimate Gohan, Tech Pan, Tech Super Trunks, right? Master Roshi were the characters in that time slot. And then for Global had, Kale, Turles, Kefla, right? Some of the examples of characters they had in that time slot, just kind of like one Dokkan Fest. And then right after, we went into the Worldwide Download Celebration, 4 Summonable LR Celebration. That was what I considered kind of like the hot season of Dokkan, right? Now, that's kind of the way it felt. Like GDC was crazy, right? And then we had, August just kind of kept it going. And then, midway through, Tanabata feels like it kind of like fizzled out. And now we're just going to kind of be into a little bit more quiet stuff, probably for the next, few months, right? Like, I mean, there's going to be a Carnival banner in December. There's going to be a dual Dokkan Fest in December. Potentially we'll see what's going on with the hero stuff in November. But, it's not anything that's going to be, super mega crazy, right? So this upcoming Dokkan Fest a lot of times isn't like a ridiculous, like, hype character. In 2020, this Dokkan Fest was Golden Frieza from the Eternal Power. In 2021, it was Kefla. In 2022, it was Path to Power Kid Goku, who was very popular and was very good, right? In 2023, it was... Who was it in 2023? It was... I can't remember. I can't pull it. 17 and 18. I remembered before I had to look it up. Nice, okay. Yep, 17 and 18. And then last year, it was... Damn, I'm rusty. Wait, last year was a character I should remember instantly. Oh my god, dude. Look at me. I'm completely fumbling. Okay, now the internet's not working. Okay, hang on. Scouter Vegeta. Okay. So those were the post-worldwide download celebration Dokkan Fests. So I'm thinking something light, right? Like a non-hype character, right? Like, I don't think we're going to walk into like, oh, Dokkan Fest Majin Vegeta, or like some big Saiyan or something like that. I think it'll be something a little bit more on the light end of the hype scale, which is what I think Dokkan should do. Peaks and valleys. You don't just go Saiyan, but then you also don't do, all right, Videl Dokkan Fest, Pan Dokkan Fest, Captain Ginyu Dokkan Fest, Raditz Dokkan Fest, Tao Dokkan Fest, right? You don't do either of those just boom, 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 boom in a row. You bounce back and forth between the two categories, I think is the ideal way to do this, right? I think a Peppy Gals Dokkan Fest would make a ton of sense this year. Like as the next Dokkan Fest character that we could get, right? So they dropped this Videl. This Videl, to me, I think is kind of like a fodder character anyway. Like, we don't really need to pay much attention to this Videl. They completely failed her. This type of character works really well. Metal Cooler, Cell, Fat Boo. When they do what, chat? They open the fight able to revive. This Videl is worthless. Terrible character. So let's just forget about her, right? Ranfan, I think, is quite good. We could run Fasha, she's decent, and Chilai is also quite good. So we do have a couple of Peppy Gals characters who are pretty solid. Plus, Tech Kefla, Carnival Kale, and Caulifla. Like, we could reasonably cook up a full Peppy Gals team that could do some damage. I mean, they would need to make this, theoretical Peppy Gals, like, kind of like filler Dokkan Fest I'm pushing here. They would need to be, like, a Captain Ginyu level character, right, from 2022, or, you know, as good as like LR Bulma was when they dropped her, you know, like, or Tech Ultimate Gohan, something like that. Like, it would, like, Tech Ultimate Gohan wasn't a non-hype character, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it needs to be if they're really powerful like that, you know, Peppy Gals, I think maybe could work. Now, in terms of who we could see as a Peppy Gal Dokkan Fest, you might, like, instantly go to Kefla, who I would say is kind of, like, the biggest Peppy Gal character in terms of, like, you know, just like combat, right? Like I don't know, like Videl like fights, but she's not like a planet wiping threat, right? You know, same thing with like Chi Chi, right, or something like that. But like Kefla is going toe to toe with UI Goku, right? Like she's you know, pretty girl who is also like an actual demon fighting, right? So Kefla would be, you know, kind of like the sure pick. Kefla doesn't need a Dokkan Fest, though. Kefla has 2 Dokkan Fests, right? One of them is, you know, this one we're looking at, is base Super Saiyan 2. The other one is Kale and Khalifa going into Super Saiyan, or Kale and Khalifa that fuse into Super Saiyan 2 Kefla. Kefla needs an LR, right? So, I mean, what they could do, you know, this theoretical celebration idea I'm pushing, they could literally just make Kefla the Part 2 LR. Boom. That would hit, and I think people would be very excited about that. She could be a Yellow Coin LR, just make her good, right? And I think it would work quite well. So who could be the Dokkan Fest? Well, Android 18 is a character I'd pull. I think she is a character for sure. I really do like the idea of Bulma getting a Dokkan Fest, and specifically, I like the idea of this Bulma getting a Dokkan Fest. We pulled up Android 18. Actually, Khalifa is a character. I don't think Khalifa is going to get a Dokkan Fest, like, right now. Like, she probably won't be the one right now. Oh, yeah, man. Hold on. I have... This is another video that I can make, and I'm going to need to do it. I have this kind of, like, written down, and I searched up my video for this as well. It's going to pop up right here. All right, guys. So, a lot of people don't remember this. Yeah, August 21st, 2018. This is the Dokkan Fest election. Global players were able to select the next Dokkan Fest. The options were Hit, Khalifa, and Kale. So you know where I'm going with this. Khalifa's probably going to get a Dokkan Fest at some point, right? So, I mean, we could pull her up, but with all the Universe 6 characters we've already gotten kind of like that, like, we've already literally gotten, like, a Khalifa, I think maybe it would be best to save this Khalifa for later. Man. I guess Ribrianne could get the Dokkan. Ribrianne could get the Dokkan. It would be very silly. Mai feels slightly too low level of a character to get a Dokkan Fest for me. I mean, Mai kind of feels like on a level, like, I don't know, even kind of like below Videl. Like Mai is like not a fighter, right? Like Mai is not a fighter, but I don't think Zhang get with a Dokkan Fest, no. They could do another 21 Dokkan Fest. We could pull her. Ribrianne, we've got her pulled up. Videl as Great Saiyaman 2. Could they do that? Huh. Launch? Oh my lord. Another OG Dragon Ball Dokkan Fest? They're trying to kill the game, dude. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I guess there's really not that many options, huh? Like, it really only comes down to a couple of girls. So I think Kefla should be LR. 18, to me, is the obvious one. Actually, rather than this Android 18, let's pull up... So, yeah. I remember I pointed this out before. When was the last Android 18 we got that's just Android 18 from the Cell Saga, right? Like, I know there was the future one. This is the one from, essentially, kind of like from Fighters. This is another future one, right? Like, just Cell Saga Android 18. This is from, you know, the Bio Broly movie. This is kind of what I'm talking about, but not really. This isn't the iconic look for Android 18. What we're looking at is this right here. I think this Android 18, the one that beats the dog shit out of Vegeta, she should get a Dokkan Fest. Seems pretty obvious to me. This Android 18, not really so much. I mean, she was basically running the whole time, right, when she was in this outfit. But this Android 18 dominates Vegeta. She turns Vegeta into her personal little pussy boy. So like, yeah, like Android 18 is a Dokkan Fest like W. Like I'm totally cool with that. You know, the Iron King could get excited because they could do a little Android action as well, right? Like could work. So this Android 18, we could definitely lock her in as a good possibility. This is my personal pick. This is what I want. So almost every single Bulma here. Let me pull it up right here. I could show this. So basically every single Bulma that's ever come out, except for this literal rare card, is youth. It's all youth Bulma. Bunny Bulma is still Bulma, you know, from the start of Dragon Ball. It's essentially youth Bulma, right? But they're all OG Dragon Ball youth Bulma, basically. Except for this one. This is Bulma from Dragon Ball Z on Planet Namek. It would be so easy to make this Bulma a Dokkan Fest with her robots. Her piloting her robots. It's so obvious, to me. Right, like the animations would be just her using her robots. There's a whole filler episode. Now I gotta pull it up. Hold on. Let's go, chat. I remember the dub name for it. Yeah, Big Trouble for Bulma. This episode right here. So this is a complete filler episode, basically, right here, where Bulma. Oh, does it not have the images? Hello? Oh, come on, what, bro? Please, man. But anyway, like this is a whole episode where Bulma is like piloting a robot and stuff like that. And like, is it the next episode? Nah, that's it. That was the, yeah, that's the episode. They just didn't have like an image section for it. Damn it. But Bulma's like piloting like robots and stuff during it. They could easily make a Dokkan Fest for her. What does she got here? Namek Saga, Earthling, Peppy Gal, Earthbred Fighter, and Dragon Ball Seekers. I mean, yeah, tying in Earthbred Fighters, Dragon Ball Seekers, Peppy Gals. I mean, they can make a good leader skill pretty easily if they really wanted to. I like this idea. Khalifa, we talked about that. I would kind of rather not see Khalifa get one just because we just got the LR Khalifa and Kale, right? But, I mean, Khalifa will get a Dokkan Fest at some point. I think very obvious. You know, the LR election and the Dokkan Fest election, you could look at it two different ways. You could say, well, of course, those are all the characters that would get LRs anyway. They're not necessarily going through the election. You know, you could say the same thing with Dokkan. Like, of course, you know, eventually they're going to try and nail a lot of these characters. Like, that's why Kale got a Dokkan Fest. But I think Khalifa will eventually get one. Ribrianne getting one. I mean, man, people really do not care about Ribrianne. There would be a sense of humor to Ribrianne getting a Dokkan Fest for me. Something about Ribrianne getting a Dokkan Fest and being like the god of the game. Like, I make a Dokkan Diamond, and Ribrianne is like the best, I don't know, AGL character. She's above AGL Carnival Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Something about that is like really funny to me. Like I wouldn't, I don't know, I wouldn't be upset with that. Like, it'd be very funny. So like Ribrianne could get a Dokkan Fest. It'll probably happen eventually. The reactions by the community will likely be fucking hilarious. But I mean, I am not opposed to a Peppy Gal Dokkan Fest or a Ribrianne Dokkan Fest. I don't know. She really feels like pushing the limits to me. They could do one for her, but I really feel like people will be bummed with that. The thing with Mai, though, is that they could easily put, like, you know, Trunks interactive skill or something. Mai probably wouldn't get one. And then 20, they could always go back to the well with Android 21, right? Actually, this is a good time to just type in Android 21. Take a look what we got right here. So, we have a regular 21. We have the Transform Evil. I guess we do have start of turn, like, every single version of her now, huh? Like the reason this matters is because we could, you know, you could put any version of Android 21 as your profile pick, right? Like your My Data page pick. So they could go in any direction. This was the Dokkan Fest. I would probably say the evil one should get a Dokkan Fest. Like you know, maybe like just redo this band unit as just a standalone character Dokkan Fest. To me, that I feel like could be pretty cool. And then we have Launch. They could probably do like a meme Dokkan Fest for Launch. Launch feels, it's weird, but I feel like I could see Launch getting a Dokkan Fest over Mai. For sure, right? So, alright, let me know what you guys think, but, I would be so down with Dokkan Fest Android 18 leading into LR Kefla for part 2. To me, that feels like you know, what we call like a monthly Dokkan Fest or a filler Dokkan Fest kind of like celebration. Like Android 18 into Kefla, it feels like a pretty solid like celebration to me. I mean, you guys can let me know. but I think that would work well. I think some of these Peppy Gal characters are pretty decent, and if we gave them a powerful home, I think they could actually be kind of a fun team, right? You know, Ranfan, Fasha, Chila, I like that, those three, plus Khalifa and Kale, plus this unit. I mean, we have a core of a team ready to go, but we just need it would need to be a really powerful leader, like close to the GDCLR level, for sure. But it could work if they would do that. So let me know what you guys think of a Peppy Gal Dokkan Fest coming up next, but I am in favor.